Okay, how does this work? Are people coming in? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. How does this work? Can I see a chat? How do I see the chat? Okay, I can see the chat. Hi. Okay, wait. I'm doing this for like the first time, so I'm trying to learn how to do it. And I have food in my teeth. I almost have food in my teeth. Why do I always have food in my teeth? Okay, I'm successfully doing this. All right, you're here. You're here. All right. Well, let me tell the others that I'm here. Michael Jones, I'm not bringing back Diva Speak TV. I'm not. You got to get into the new stuff. Um. Okay. Now. Okay. Sorry. Hold on. I'm trying to do a million things. Okay. Topics. We got things to talk about. We got things to talk about. Okay. All right. Everyone can see this. Yes. Okay. Let me just tell these Instagram folks what's going on here. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna be doing these. They're called common sense kickbacks. Because I've been seeing a lot of nonsense. And I do my radio show, the Amanda Seales Show. All right, let me just tell these people real quick. Hey, y'all, we are over there at YouTube, Amanda Seales TV, and I'm about to do my first ever Common Sense Kickback on YouTube Live. So come and join us. I'm going to be talking about Tyrese, who said he wants to be Latino. I'm also going to be talking about this Canadian broad who is actually an educator and was saying all these wrong things about Palestine. So I'll talk about that. And I'm also, Chloe, let it go. I already did talk about it. Why do you even care? Like you late. And I'll also be talking about these migrants. I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. Stop asking me about little Scrappy. If I can, I'm trying to think of something I care less about in my life, and it's that. So, anywho's, come on over to YouTube, Amanda Seales TV. Amanda Seales TV. We're over here. It's happening. The people are joining. We're talking. We're chatting. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. All right. So, yeah, come on over here. I'll actually put the link in my stories right now, just in case you, yes, right now, Chef Seisha. And if you can't figure it out right now, I'll put the link right now. Thank you, Tanya. See you over there. Bye, guys. Okay, so we're here. How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? What up? What up? What up? What up? I love when people like make the leap from Instagram. Like when y'all get over here, I'm just like, look at people following instructions. Don't you love it? I love it. I love to see it. I love to see it. I'm trying to set up my bear with me because I'm doing this for the first time. It's like my computer, my screen ain't set up all the way how I want it. So I'm trying to just get my act together. Okay, wait, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Oh, look, I'm able to. Hey, look at that. Okay. That's right, Michael Jones. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay. All right, y'all. We're doing it. Oh my God, we're doing it. We're doing it. All right. Okay. I'm a little bit frazzled because we're gonna talk about that, Shanice. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this because we're gonna talk about some Islamophobia tonight. We're gonna talk about some things. Okay, we're gonna talk about some things. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. They have like super chat, etc. Where you can thank you, Mira Mira on the tube. Appreciate you. How do I do that? Yeah, look at that. Shout out to Mira Mira on the tube. Yes, yes, yes. So I do my radio show, The Amanda Seales Show. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check it out in select cities. We are in Houston, Philly, Richmond, Virginia, Columbus, Georgia, Columbus, Ohio. We're actually beating the Breakfast Club in Columbus, Ohio. Mute, 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 mute. We are also in Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C. Okay, Washington, D.C. And I'm forgetting somewhere. Oh, we're in Philly. So you can check us out on the radio in those cities. On the weekends, we're in those cities, as well as Chicago, Indianapolis, Dallas, Texas, Baltimore, Maryland, and Cincinnati and Raleigh, Durham. Okay. Y'all don't understand. I am really, really trying to make sure that y'all listen to the Amanda Seales Show because, you know, what I do on Instagram is its own thing. But when we do the Amanda Seales Show, what I love about it is that we get to really do like a wide array of topics, and it's like produced, and I got my co-host DJ Supreme and my executive producer TJ, and we have guests, and so I really want to make sure that people know about it. So this is my extension to the Amanda Seales Show, and I'll be doing these ever so often, so just look out for them. It's really important to me that we have spaces where we can like have like-minded conversations. So I know a lot of people be feeling crazy in their circles, and I don't want you to feel crazy. So I'm just gonna tell you, like, that's what we're here for. All right. Let me just share this YouTube. Okay. And let me tell you, your girl is teching. Okay. Your girl is teching. I'm not really sure why Ida Berry even apologized about Jennifer Lopez, because the statements that she made were not wrong. Okay, join us now on YouTube. Link. I don't know why I always say us. Is it because I'm thinking like me, myself, and I? Like, why do I do that, guys? I always say us, and it's like, baby, it's just you, sis. It's just you. It really is. It's just you. Join. Well, it's us because it's us together. Okay, here we are. All right. So thank you, Glory to Gaza. Thank you so much. So let's talk. What do we want to start with? Y'all want me to start with Tyrese? Do you want me to start with folks being mad at migrants? Or do you want me to start with this Canadian jackass? Let me know. Okay, y'all said Tyrese. Y'all said Tyrese. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know this. I'm actually going to see if I can get it to, I'm going to try and go tech to a whole other level, y'all. I'm going to try to superimpose a picture. Can I do it? Let's see if I can do it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to airdrop it. No people found. Yes, I'm right. What are you talking about? I'm right here. Okay. I done airdropped it. Let's see if I can do this, y'all. Okay. News layout. How do I do this? How do I bring a how do I bring a picture up? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to bring a picture up, but I want to figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. Hold on 1 second because I have the picture. Now, anybody over here know how to work on StreamYard? How you bring up a picture? Anybody got any ideas? Let's see. It's not banner. Oh, do I think I share screen? It's not share screen. It's not video clip, but it's not a video. I do know how to do. Okay. I just want y'all to see this so bad. I want y'all to see this so bad. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Oh. Nope. Okay. Anyways, I'll work on it. Okay. So I can level up my capabilities. Anybody get any ideas? Screen share. You can use the screen share feature to display images. Open the image on your computer, start screen sharing, and select the window containing the image. Okay. All right. I'm pretty good at following directions. Let's see. All right. I can open the image. Y'all going to see how many tabs I have open. And you're going to judge me. Okay. So this is, I get what you're saying. Picture in picture layout, screen layout, Shift 7. I love that you guys are bearing with me. I appreciate you so much for this because I don't know why I'm not able to do this. I'm like a pretty smart gal. Shift 5. Nope. Screen. I don't know why I can't do this. I should be able to just add the item. All right, I gotta do it another day. All right, so your boy Tyrese said this. Okay. Your boy Tyrese said, sometimes I wish. Thank you, Aunt. Big up. He said, oh, you see my shirt? Yeah, it never goes old for me. Game of Thrones never dies for me. All right. Sometimes I wish I was born Latino. I mean, the Latin community is grounded in family, loyal entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women literally represent the dream, the grind, the hustle, doing whatever it takes to stick together against all odds. If us as Black culture were more grounded in these integral, magical nuances of us, we would be dominant. Can somebody figure out how I can add this to this goddamn thing? Because I want y'all to see it so fucking bad. Like, I want y'all to see it so bad. I'm trying to understand why he doesn't see that in the Black community. That's what I want to understand. Because it's not Okay, first of all, let me just say this. One of the things that really frustrates me about when we talk about the Black community is that so often we fall for the lies that have been told to make us as Black people less committed to our communities, right? And it's not like I'm judging people for that, because I mean, I'm here too, and I understand we are all in this indoctrination society, but it's like, yo, like you don't see how they be doing the trickery on you? How you falling for that? That's the shit that for me is like beyond my scope of comprehension. Like, how are you falling for that when it is so blatantly in your face? If he's gonna say the Latin community is grounded in family, loyal entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women. I don't know about y'all, but I see the same type of issues in every community that is attempting to be American. So when we talk about the Latin community, you know, what are you even referring to? What members of the Latin community are you referring to? Because there's so many members of the Latin community that don't even consider Afro-Latinos a part of their community. Is that loyal? Is that community? There's so many members of the Latin community that don't consider indigenous Latinos a part of their community. Is that loyal? Is that community? There's so many members of the Latin community that actually center their Eurocentricity as what makes them the best or their power, etc. Is that loyal? Is that community? And I'm not even shading the Latin community. What I'm saying, though, is that all of those things are a result of white supremacy. White supremacy has found its way into every community, baby. Okay? Every. And when we call it community, it really is just people that aren't white. It really is just groups of people that have been lumped together that actually beneath that surface are so different across their cultural ethnicities, their backgrounds, their beliefs, etc. Like when we look at like the like Latino community, it's like, okay, Guatemala is not Nicaragua, is not Panama, is not Mexico. Mexico is, you know, Sinaloa is not Mexico City, is not Cancun. Like it's a big ass country. Like that's, you know, so I think personally that, and I talked about this recently on my YouTube. I don't know why I'm yelling, y'all. I be in my house by myself yelling. Why am I speaking so fucking loud? Why? Why am I speaking so loud? There's so many examples of the uniqueness of the Black American experience. And one of those things is the fact that we have had to find community in each other in ways that we have seen other communities be able to just have community, right? Like we've even had to find community in toxic ways, right? Like we've had to find community in toxic ways like that, or ways that began positively, but that were shifted into toxicity because of white supremacy. Gangs started out from the Black Panthers, and we know that the Black Panthers was created to protect community, right? That's where that was created. But this exactly, Sonia, this divide and conquer mentality is just bonkers because it continues to be so pervasive, and folks continue to just perpetuate it in ways that they think are actually like, oh, I'm bigging up the Latin community. But it's the same way that we always are like, yo, why do you got to say I like white girls in the same breath as because Black women, et cetera, et cetera? Like, just like your white girls, why you got to diss people in order to show why you are like in love with something else? So I just wanted to say to Tyrese that he needs to come to a Smart, Funny, and Black show. That's what he needs to do if he's looking for all of that. And there are so many people and so many organizations and so many just minds at work to counteract these types of things that he's noticing. And in my mind, I'm like, nigga, don't come up here talking about I want to be Latino in order to do these things. How about you focus yourself in how you can be perpetuating and growing and supporting of those things? Huh? That's the thing. Don't complain about it. Be about it. You heard me? Be about it. I also want to know how come y'all up so late? Because I started this and I was like, ain't nobody come on in here because they're all going to be out or sleep. And y'all are up in this bitch. Okay, even Jordy sleep. Look at Jordy. Oh, now he want to get up. So anywho, so that's my thoughts on Tyrese. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask me about this? Shout out to Berlin. Okay. So I am actually starting tomorrow. I'm going to start doing bonus episodes of Small Doses Podcast. And it's only going to be for Patreon. So shout out to all my SEAL squad all up in here. And shout out to everybody who has already subscribed to the Patreon. I got dropped by my publicist yesterday. And I'll be talking on my bonus Patreon episode about what I think God is trying to tell me. So Small Doses Podcast, for those who don't know, is a self-improvement podcast where I use humor and information and interviews, sometimes solo episodes, to talk about life and themes that are within our experience. And I try to talk about them from a high vibrational mind state. And so my bonus episodes will be more, kind of just personal in terms of their timeliness. Because when I talk about themes on Small Doses Podcast, it's usually just like an evergreen kind of mindset. But I want the bonus episodes, at least right now, because, I'm an artist, should be changing. But I want the bonus episodes to be just more like related to like things that are happening within like my world. And like, for instance, like I can tell you right now, like tomorrow on the bonus episode, I'm gonna talk about going out when you're depressed, because I'm like in a depression right now and I went out last night. We're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about shape shifting for business. I gotta tell y'all, I got pulled over yesterday, so I gotta tell y'all about that. And I got some thoughts about my homegirl said I'm a stickler for punctuality, and so I want to talk about that. And also, every week I will give my Men in 7, which will be my reflection on conversations I've had with men over the past week. So if you want to, and I'll be recording that live, so it'll be the same setup, and you'll be able to be in the chat. So that'll be going down 7:30 tomorrow night Pacific. And yes, honey, life is lifing. So that'll be going down tomorrow at 7:30 Pacific at YouTube. If you're on Patreon, you'll get a link. So, think about subscribing. I guess I'll put this thing back up here. All right. So you said don't click any links you don't know. Oh, yay. Precise videos. You just took me on a journey. Like, Had a date, and today she came. Had a date today. She came late. I was so annoyed, but the date went great, so I'm not annoyed anymore. But Dan, be on time. Like I was on that ride with you. 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 All right. Okay. So next, I want to talk about this lady in Canada who was giving y'all wrong information about Palestine, and it's one of my most frustrating scenarios. But before I do that, I do want to speak life to Mira Mira on the tube, who's been in here just dropping coins and gems. And thank you. God is removing those who only have a financial stake. I'm gonna receive this. I'm gonna receive this. I need to download that and come back to it tomorrow, because that was pretty profound. Okay, so that the Canada lady tried to apologize. Okay, well, you know what though? Let's talk about what she said first, right? Because people love to come and apologize after the fact, but it's like you didn't already said the shit though. You said the shit. So let's show what she said.
That Israel was offered to the Jews who were displaced. So they have no connection to how it started. They don't understand that it was a crappy piece of land with nothing on it. There were, several 100,000 people, but other than that, it didn't produce an economy. It couldn't grow things. It didn't have anything on it. And that it was the folks who were displaced that came, and the people who had been living there for generations, and together they worked hard, and they had their own battles, right? We know the history.
No, ma'am. No, you don't know the goddamn history. At this point, at this juncture, to continue spouting wholly incorrect information as it regards to Palestine is just wildly irresponsible, and low-key, it's evil. Because it's completely available to you, and it's not in existence in only one format. Okay? So this lady right here, her name is Selena Robinson. She's the Minister of Education for British Columbia, Canada. I've also learned that her party is considered like the progressive party. So it's also like you're supposed to be from like the side that actually has some common sense. And this is 100% false. Okay, so first of all, let me just say some things. Even if it was a crappy piece of land, it's not your land. So let's just start there. Even if it's a crappy piece of land, it's not your land. Even if there were only 100,000 people there, those 100,000 people are already there. And this mindset of, well, if we're going to take it and make it better, then we should be able to take it and make it better is so imperialist and colonialist, because it, of course, is supremacist. And it's the idea that their version of better is better. And as we see from the amount of Indigenous people who continue to live life in Indigenous ways, there are multiple versions of better. And for some people, continuing to live a lifestyle on the land, connected to the land in specific ways, carrying out your culture based on traditions, etc., that can be better. Now, of course, there are versions of that are not better. For instance, FGM, female genital mutilation, like that is a cultural tradition. However, it is harmful to women. It is harmful. Traditions that cause harm are obviously not better. But there is a tradition of colonialism and imperialism that causes harm, and that is not better. At the time, and this also is so wholly, unbelievably dumb, because before 1948, Jewish people were immigrating to Palestine in droves, because they were being driven there by Zionists and being told like, hey, like, we're building something over here for you. We're building something over here for you. But they were still coming there as immigrants, trying to escape, levels of anti-Semitism, around the world. But ultimately what was being done though, is they were being tricked into coming to a space to try to outdo in size the Arab population that was already there. Now, the Arab population that was already there, and I'm sure some of you have heard these stories, were taking people in, we're helping them, we're supporting them. They were living as a community. And they were doing this out of the kindness of just their hearts, also out of the reality that like any community right now that ends up having people brought to them that are coming from hurt and harm, which is what we're going to get to about migrants, if they have the wherewithal, will take them in. That's what is supposed to happen, by the way, people. That's what's supposed to happen. But what ends up happening is they are empowered by the British, who are trying to help support this building of a Zionist state for their own duplicitous reasons. They are empowered to actually be duplicitous to the actual people who are trying to help them. But at the time of their moving there, like Palestine was under the Ottoman Empire, which was already doing its own goddamn thing for dumb long. There was like 30 newspapers in Palestine at the time of the turn of the century. So to say that there was nothing happening there is crazy. We've also seen video. There was not only newspapers and life and families and art, but there was trade. There was trade. And again, I'm only saying these things just to exemplify how wrong this lady is. But it is very important to acknowledge that regardless of any of this, if they were there in tents, it still wouldn't have made it right to come and say, well, this is what we're going to do. Because it's like, well, baby, I own this piece of land where the tent is. They weren't squatting on the land. And that is what gets told when this woman says things like this. So I just wanted to verbalize that. Let me read some of your comments, because in British Columbia, after October 7th, the British Columbia government doubled down and said more Holocaust education, more. I wrote to them and said, that's cool. How about including education about the Nakba? I don't think there's anything wrong with Holocaust education. It's just that when it is in a vacuum and doesn't acknowledge the several Holocausts that came before and that are coming after it, it really is not actual education. And that's what we're seeing even in Florida and in America with the attempts to undermine the education that is happening across the nation. I mean, about Black people, about Indigenous people, just really, history. And it's just very scary to me that people will go on like an actual like public forum and spew such actual like wrong things. It's not true. It's not factual. It's completely wrong. I'll never understand it. You can learn a lot about Palestinian history in literally just one book, right? If you just get your hands on 100 Years of Palestine. Sorry, get your hands on the 100 Years War of Palestine by Rashid Khalidi and get into it. Get into it. Audiobook it, whatever you got to do. Okay? Audiobook it, whatever you got to do. Yes, Torrance. You are correct. Slavery was a quote unquote Holocaust. And it's really scary, Aunt, like how, when alternative facts came out, like as a thing, it was just like, that basically gave people license to say, oh yeah, like I don't have to actually know the truth. Like I don't have to actually know the truth. I just can say whatever I want and it's my truth. That's when people start saying that dumb shit. It's my truth. It's like, I feel like people only be saying my truth when they know full well that it's my lie. It's my lie. This is about to be my lie. It's like when people say no disrespect, they're about to absolutely disrespect you. They're about to absolutely disrespect you. But I want to encourage all of you all to continue your quest to learn about Palestine, because for a myriad of reasons, but also you have the opportunity right now to experience history in real time in a way that our literal world has never been able to do. Our world has never had access to information in the way that we have access to information at the same time that something is happening, right? So even when there was a war happening, World War II, even let's even go even closer, like the Iraq War, we didn't have the same access to information. We didn't have the ability to even exchange information in the same way. We was trying to dial up, honey. And that was not even at the beginning of that. Wait, was it? I can't remember. No, I'm thinking of Desert Storm. But even when I was in college after 9/11, still information not the same as where we have right now. And there's yes, Brooklyn Sky, you better tell them. Yes, there's so much information about Palestine that you don't have any excuse. You don't have any excuse at this point to like be saying wrong information. And hold on. There's no reason. And so when you see it, know that it's deliberate. Know that it's deliberate. It's willful ignorance. Absolutely, Ginger. It's willful ignorance. And I won't stand for it. I'm gonna call it out every time. I'm gonna call it out every time. So it's just because it's important, it's imperative. And I think it's really necessary that even when you're on the internet and you see people talking and saying wrong things, and you can tell yourself like, oh, let me just keep scrolling, like let me whatever. I think it's really important in those moments to even just take a moment to like say the right information and then keep it moving, because we are at a critical time where folks just have to like not get away with being on some whack shit. They can't get away with being on some whack shit. And there's a lot of effort to make you just be desensitized to that shit. A lot of effort. So any comments that anyone want to make? Any comments? Shout out to Lanta. It's your, is it Lanta or Ianta? I can't tell if that's an L or a capital I. I think it's a capital I. Ianta Summers. Oh, I didn't even see this comment. Your clarity encourages a force. Thank you. Your creative, intelligent teaching is powerful. I pray you are always covered by divine wisdom. Thank you. I'm going to talk about this on my Small Doses bonus episode tomorrow about the epiphanies and I think I'm having a full circle moment and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. But thank you so much for your what do they call them on here? Your super that you added. So before I get into my last topic, and I guess like I'll figure out over time like segments about this, but okay, Shanice, let me tell you. All right. Y'all be wanting to have a book club. Let me keep it a buck about books. I read slow as fuck. I read so slow. Child, I read so slow. So I just don't get to, I don't get to have a book club because I don't get to read books like that. Like, it be taking me so long. Y'all will leave me behind. Like, I feel like y'all can have a book club and, and like tell me about the book, like with book reports. Is that a thing we could Because Shanice, I'm telling y'all be like, Amanda, we're on chapter 7. I'm like, y'all, I had to do kickback. I had to do the kickback. I had to do the radio show. I had to do the podcast. I had to feed Jordy. You know, IK, why you fronting on book reports? Now, see, now we into something. You gonna read a book to me? Listen, get me the Cliff Notes. Yeah, it's just it's tough for me. It's tough. So if there's another version of book club, let me know, y'all, because I can't be in a book club because I got to read at my own pace. Now, I will say, so listen, audiobooks make me sleepy. Y'all, anything audio talking makes me sleepy. Podcasts, audiobooks, I can't listen in the car. So I can listen like while I'm doing something, but I can't listen in the car. I was listening to my own radio show, The Amanda Seales Show, which you can check out every daily on radio and all podcast networks. And I almost fell asleep at the wheel. No bullshit. I'm listening to my own show. And then I thought, oh my God, my show must be terrible. But my show is great. And then I started listening to like some other like audiobooks. And I realized like, oh, it's this. It's literally this. You can't listen to people talking. It makes you go to sleep. Yeah. Okay, so Shireen L, you said, okay, Ruby, you know what? It's funny that you asked for that. I might be able to actually get you that. So, how did I get through college? So much damn reading. So for me, I am really gifted at knowing what needed to be read. Yeah. So I think I've told this before. I'm definitely sure I have ADHD. Maybe not ADHD, but I absolutely have ADD. I definitely have ADD without question. It's self-diagnosed, and that's a fact. Okay, so when I was in school, so I went to Columbia. I was in grad school. That's really where the difficult reading was, because I can read fiction fast, like good narrative. I can read fast, but like nonfiction, I read very, 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 very slow. So I would go through the table of contents. So Danielle, skimming doesn't work for me. Skimming doesn't work for me. What it is I have to find specifically like what I'm going to read. So I will go through the table of contents and I would like absolutely positively read this table of contents. Like, okay, what is in here? And then I would see what interests me, because I know that if it interests me, I'm going to read it faster. I'm going to be more into it, right? I'm going to be more, my brain synapse will fire faster. So I would do that. I will probably read like, because y'all, they be wanting you to read like a whole motherfucking book. And it's like, yo, I can't do it. I mean, I don't even know why you would ask me to do this. Like, but I would do that. And then when I come to class, the shit that I'm about to read, I'm about to know that shit backwards and forwards. Now, what happens though, is that maybe you read something that there's context before and after that's lacking. So you got to know how to deliver what you're saying in a way that is specific to what it is, that doesn't ignore the context before and after, because what's going to happen is other people in the class are going to add on. Don't say I never taught y'all nothing. Don't say I never taught y'all nothing. Okay? So they're going to add on, and then boom. Now we're in a whole conversation. Now I'm learning from what they read, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how I did it. And I did fine. I did fine. I'm still cool with my professors. So one of my professors called me today. Now reading scripts, I'm a slow reader with scripts too, unless it's a really good script. I mean, I don't really enjoy reading scripts like that. Like some people love to like devour scripts, but I don't really enjoy reading scripts like that. I don't really enjoy acting like that, if I'm being honest. Like I just kind of yeah, like reading scripts is one of those things that it's just like some people really are loving it. Jim Quick teaches speed reading. Okay. I'll check out his speed reading. Jim Quick be on it. Jim Quick be on it. Okay. So let's talk about this last thing. So basically, and okay, so on Tamika Mallory's page, she actually has like a really good video about this, and it's actually Joy Reid who's breaking down what's going on with these migrants getting like a cat. They're basically getting like gift certificates, essentially in New York. Okay, and hold on. I feel like I'm doing a whole one-woman show right now. Like, I'm going to be so tired after this. It's like when Jordy goes to the dog park and he comes home and he's just like, I'm firing on all pistons. All pistons are firing right now. All pistons. Okay. Bionic font? I don't know about the bionic font, Danielle. I got to look into the bionic font. Amanda, it's an 8-year. Things have to end for the new. It's an 8-year. Things have to end for the new beginnings of the new levels. Hold tight to your intentions, and you know your divine assignment. You know what? Okay, don't. I'm supposed to talk about this on the podcast tomorrow. You're like making me. I'm going to screenshot this. Yes, the divine assignment. You're right. Talk amongst yourselves real quick because I need to type something. Did you see Origin? What'd you think about it? Talk amongst yourselves real quick. Okay, I'm back. Hi, Joyce. So basically, New York City has said that they're going to be giving migrant gift cards to the migrants. And 50 Cent, in his infinite wisdom, went on his page and got very upset about this. No one knows what happened between Charlamagne and Amanda, and you're not going to know, but just know that I don't fuck with the God. So basically what I have learned, and again, I want to make sure that I make it clear to y'all that I am really, right now, what I'm doing is just relaying information to you. And then I want to speak about how I feel about just people's reactions to migrants in general. Okay. So first of all, migrant gift cards are being given out to the migrants who have been shipped, essentially bused, I should say, who have been, but you saw what play out? You didn't see nothing play out. Who have been bused to New York by Greg Abbott And these people were displaced, okay, in New York. Now they are in shelters. And essentially, the migrant gift cards are what is being given to them so that they can buy food that they actually will eat, because they're wasting the food that's being prepared for them in shelters because it is not like culturally specific to them. And so what they've done is essentially put together this budget that says, okay, this is how much it costs for us to feed them in the shelters. What if we just give them gift cards that are actually close to this, and it ends up saving us money essentially because we're not wasting food, right? So they're getting essentially $11 per meal. It's essentially like $35 a day, and it's like $1,000 for a month for a family of 4. And people are really upset about this because they're like, well, what about the actual Americans? Why aren't they doing this for Americans? But they are. The cards are essentially SNAP benefits, but they're not able to get SNAP benefits because they are not American citizens. To my understanding, that's the reason why. So they're getting these gift cards in order to be able to buy food that they will actually eat. And I understand that there's a lot of folks who see this and feel some type of way. And I see comments like this, right? So Rob says, I'm trying to empathize, but it irks me to see these same communities look down on Black folks and push and promote the same systems of white supremacy that we fight against here. That is by design. And the thing about it, though, is that a lot of those same communities are not the same communities, right? Like, I feel like we lump together like Latinos. Like, I saw a video the other day of like this migrant who was like talking shit about Black people. And it's like, yeah, there is going to be people who are terrible people in every group, right? I am a Black person, and I have had other Black people tell me, go back to your island, coconut. Right? Because essentially, we know that xenophobia is like at the root of America. This idea of like American exceptionalism is really something that we have to understand is not just like some old fangled thing. Like, that's continued, and it is an effort that is made to everybody who wants to be American to uphold. Like, they do that. But I think it's really kind of wild, though, to see one person behave a way and be like, oh, like, see, they're all doing that, because I just know that that's not the regular thought process. And Nicole, they said that, oh, Black Americans are lazy, or Black people are lazy, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, well, where do you think they got that from? But, I've had members of like, particularly like the ADOS community come at me crazy because they're like, you're not Black. They're like, your mother is from Grenada, so you're not Black. And I'm just like, my father is ADOS, but regardless, I think it's really important that we learn like the facts about things, and also that we understand that, in my opinion, and you tell me, in my opinion, there's a concerted effort to instill xenophobia into the groups of people that do not get access from white supremacy, so that we will fight each other for scraps. Okay? They want us to fight each other for scraps to distract us from fighting for what we really should be getting, which is access to resources, elevated pay, and equality from the majority white 1% who have tax breaks upon tax breaks upon tax breaks upon tax breaks. And so while we over here, scrapping for scraps, them people are over there just in the Hamptons. We shouldn't even be paying any mind to that, in my opinion. I feel like whatever they're doing for the migrants, again, Migrants are coming to America. People have always come to America. Okay? That is always a fact. People have always come to America. We are an immigrant nation. And there is a real, yes, and there's a real effort to try to make immigrants and people who are coming to these spaces as enemies to the people who are already there, even though the people who are here were once immigrants. Everybody here, except for indigenous people, are immigrants or the descendants of slaves. That's it. So there's that. And yes, I have been seeing it happening in Germany. I've been seeing it happening in Argentina. It's also happening in Denmark. You know, there's like a very mad grab, like a scramble. It's happening in Italy as well. A scramble to really hold on to like the last vestiges of white supremacy. And you know, it's wild. And for all intents and purposes, when people are mad that there are so many migrants in Chicago or so many migrants in New York, it's like, well, I see people saying things like, see, Trump XYZ. And I'm like, hello, these migrants were bussed here by Trump's peoples. What are we talking about? Like, hello. So yeah, I don't know what that's about. And I feel like people just are ignoring the plot of this. They're trying to watch it like in the third season. And it's like, well, you missed the first two seasons. So how does that work? I don't understand. The FGM reference just reminded me of finding out recently that children in Ghana were punished with having ginger put up their rectum. Let me just tell you something. Like, I don't know if there's white people that did that, but in particular, white people have been like really scarily creative with their methods of torture and punishment. Like, I'm wearing my Game of Thrones, and there was an episode of Game of Thrones where this was when they were at Farrenhall, and Tywin Lannister had set up shop. They were at Harrenhal. This is when Arya had, escaped from King's Landing, and she ended up getting captured. And so she was the cupbearer at Tywin Lannister's table. And they literally were torturing somebody by putting a rat. I'm going to bring this back, but I just want to show this. By putting a rat like on their chest, and then they put a metal bowl over the rat to trap the rat, and then they would light like a match, like they would burn fire, because the rat, in trying to escape, will gnaw through your body. Yeah. Like, people came up with that. White people came up with that. No, I did not watch House of the Dragon. When I tell y'all, okay, let me tell y'all something real quick. Jordy is he has an attitude at night. Like, he's very just like, ugh, don't touch me. Are you okay? Am I bothering you? And I'm doing too much talking. And he's just like, he's shifted and got it. Look how he's looking at me. Look how he's looking at me. He was like, yeah. Like, if you go to like one of those Ripley's Believe It or Not museums, like, they be having it in there. Okay. Aunt say, you are spot on. I wish people would wake up and see through the BS, but they buying into distraction. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's just easier to go with the narrative of negativity. Wait, I'm sorry. I have to address this. Thank you. Somebody said it. Somebody said it. Thank you. It was terrible. It was terrible. I don't care what nobody say. I know good when I know good. And I tried to watch House of fucking Dragon, and I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this generic brand Game of Thrones? Yes, it was, Mo. Wasn't it? It wasn't it. Mother of Dragons. Okay? Mother of Dragons. And it wasn't for me. I couldn't do it. It was, listen, y'all, we can't have a whole, we will have a whole, maybe we should have a whole, yo, great value GOT is nuts. It's so accurate. It's so accurate. It's so accurate. It's so accurate. So this is our first common sense kickback. How have you guys enjoyed this? Is this something I should do? Like, you know, like even if it's like once a week, is this something I should do? I just bought a fountain from Temu. Listen, Hamid, please tell the truth. This is a fact. They absolutely tried to throw us off by tossing in the black family with the white hair. And you're like, oh my God, black people. And then he was a damn simp or a snitch or something. I started watching. I wasn't happy with how they wrote his character, and I got out of there. Okay, so y'all enjoyed this. Maybe sometimes I'll have guests. You know, that could be cool. Have guests. Like I would love to bring on like Greg Stoker, like people that I wouldn't necessarily do like maybe a small doses episode with. Well, maybe I could, but even still, just like a cash combo, you know, just like a cash combo. But I'm so glad that you enjoyed this. And the last thing I had to address before I go off, I actually forgot to talk about it when I was talking about the Canadian lady, was Wall Street Journal in Dearborn, Michigan. I will say this, what's happening in Dearborn, where there's like a concerted effort to not vote for Biden. I understand it and I get it. I feel like it's really kind of, it is not my place to tell people like, you need to vote for Biden, even though he is like actively committing a genocide against your people. Like, I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. You can't make me do it. So I'm not going to do it. What I think is imperative though, is to address that the Wall Street Journal, and there was another publication too, had two ridiculously like alarming headlines. Wall Street Journal headline was something like, town of jihadists, wants to not vote for Biden or something. And the other one said, we can learn a lot about the animal kingdom from Muslims. I'm paraphrasing, but y'all, if it's even in that range of space, then you can't even tell me that it's doing anything. I think it's really bonkers that racism and Islamophobia get to live so out loud. It's scary, actually. And it really is letting us know the true climate of things. And I think so many people have pretended that it hasn't been the true climate of things, but it is. It is. I want to shout out Theodora. Theodora, like, really? This is a super duper whooper massive sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you, Holly, one of my SEAL squad. Appreciate you. One of my SEAL squad. So glad that we could be their nightcap after you came home from the outings. But this has been really cool, and it really makes me feel good, and I haven't been feeling good. So I feel like until I can kind of get my chemicals balanced, I realize that I need to not have too much downtime. And you guys and your interactiveness here has just been really super duper helpful and allowed my brain to rest and my nervous system to relax. And that's something I've been having a really, really hard time doing. So thank you all so much for being y'all. Let me just say a couple things before I go. If you look at the banner below, you can see that you can join me tomorrow because I will be doing the first ever Small Doses bonus episode. You know, Small Doses podcast, for those of y'all who are just joining, Small Doses podcast is my podcast I've been doing for 6 years. You can check it out wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Wednesday. And I'm going to be starting doing bonus episodes. And Small Doses podcast is about self-improvement through talk about different themes and topics. And so Small Doses bonus episodes will be reflective of my own self-improvement that I'm doing. And we'll be doing them live like we do here, where you guys will be able to chime in and, you know, Patreon at the end of the day is like a community in itself. And it also is for supporters of my work, but also folks who just want to have a little bit more insight into the ecosystem that I'm creating creatively, intellectually, compassionately. And so this podcast will be an extension of that. We're going to be recording 7:30 p.m. That's Lando. We're going to be recording at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night, Pacific Standard Time. All right. Also want to remind you that if you want to make sure that you don't miss when I'm coming to your city, I'll be in Dallas on February 25th. Get your tickets at amandaseals.com, but you can also sign up for our newsletter. So my newsletter comes out twice a month. You're going to find out about what's coming on Patreon, what shows I'm doing, because I'm adding new cities to the tour all the time. Ruby, please wait. And I'm also going to be actually, you know what? This is a good time to mention the merch. So I have had such a hard time trying to get merch done properly, but I've just had another opportunity come up where I can possibly get it done properly. And so there should be merch, you know, barring any surprises from this conversation, there should be merch available in the near future. So, look out for that. But again, I'll be in Dallas, Fort Worth. But again, sign up for my newsletter and you will know when there's merch. And Patreon, you will always get access to merch first before anybody. So understand and know that. All right. Last thing I wanted to hip you all to is Patreon. If you haven't joined my Patreon, we have a $5 tier to $20 tier, but we're starting in March. We're going to have a middle tier. I have new things coming on in Patreon. We just started a chat for everyone to interact with each other and have space. I feel like people are growing more and more and more disenfranchised and disgusted with the social media of things. And I think that we're going to end up breaking off into smaller pods of more like-minded people that are radical and that are that are feeding us in different ways. And I'm hoping that my Amanda Sales Patreon is serving that purpose for folks, and that we continue to do that. So, we'll be having lives. We'll be having free stuff. We'll be having merch, all the above. So look out for that. All right. So look out for yourselves, you guys. Thank you again for joining me for the first ever Common Sense Kickback right here at my YouTube page. And thank you to all of you all who donated in the super chat. I really appreciate you. And thank you all who have interacted and have left comments, etc. And to all of y'all who just watched, thank you all too for being here. So look out for when the next one will happen. Subscribe to my YouTube page. That's a great way for you to find out when these are happening. And hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow at Patreon, 7:30 p.m. Pacific for the first ever Small Doses bonus episode. All right. Have a good night, y'all.